morning, everyone. This is Tony from Her Homestead Skills, and this morning I am coming to you from a hotel room in Kentucky. We decided that this trip that we had planned to take over 2 years ago was overdue, and Mark wanted to take this time to do it because we do have other commitments in the next in early September, so we have to be back by then for sure. But the idea was to do a road trip to some of the southern states and see some of the sites in the area. But we did the quick travel last night, or yesterday all day, through, let's see, I guess first through New York State, then through Pennsylvania, was it, Mark?
Yep.
Then Pennsylvania, then Ohio, and we seemed to be in Ohio forever. And before we stopped for the night, we were in Kentucky, and right now we are in London, Kentucky. And we do plan to take a few days to sightsee some of these southern states, and Mark is just plotting our itinerary for at least today. And he has suggested that we go to North Carolina, is it, Mark?
Yeah, North Carolina in all likelihood.
Yeah, North Carolina is where we'll probably be spending the day, and I hope to be taking in some of the sights, enjoying some of the weather that the southern states has to offer, and we'll try and keep you abreast of where we are and what we're doing. This is going to be the road trip of the year for us, and it is one that we have planned for well over 3 years now, 2 years. And we also have a friend down south that we may try to visit in Mississippi. We'll see if we can get to him as well. But anyway, some of you have noticed that I was pushing very hard to get a lot of canning done, and part of the reason why was because Mark wanted to take this time to come out, and I wanted to get as much done as I possibly could before we left. Obviously August is the big canning season for me. It's the big harvest time, but there's still a lot to do, and September we'll probably be looking into the apple harvest in Ontario, because that's when it's big, and I'd love to do a lot of apples. My potato harvest is done, and it could sit for a week before I finish processing them. The tomatoes, I'm hoping they will ripen on the vine without them being picked completely by whatever critter is enjoying my tomato feast that I've laid out for it. Anyway, it can have a few, just leaves, I hope it leaves me some. So I'd still want to can 70-ish jars, 50 to 70 jars for the balance of the season. If not, I will try to buy another bushel. And yes, you can buy, I bought it as early in the season as I possibly could. I've learned years ago that you get them early and before the rains come, and the tomatoes are not so full of water that you're draining more than normal. But even if that's the case, I can still, like if I have to buy them later in the season, I can do that as well, and we will drain out any excess water. Not a big deal, as long as I get enough to last me for the year and then some. Yeah, I always like to have at least 18-month supply on hand. And yes, I do have a few jars from last year, like I didn't run short, and this is what you want to ensure, even with my son asking me for some. But I do have to take into consideration that he may be asking me for more this year than he normally does. So anyway, hope you people are still keeping busy, that you're putting as much away as you possibly can. We know that there are continued shortages, and they tend to fluctuate between one product and another, and supply chain issues are still not resolved. So we definitely have to look after our own interests and be as self-sufficient as we possibly can. Okay. I'm hoping to really enjoy this holiday. It's the first one that we've had in 5 years. and I hope it doesn't take as long in the future, but you never know. I think even before that, it was a good 6, 7, 8 years before we had a real vacation, so they don't come too often in this household. Anyway, this is Tony from Her Homestead Skills. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.